Aaron Judge, no stranger to hitting 60 home runs in a season, but we certainly aren't going to put a FanDuel win total or even DraftKings at 60. So Sam, our producer, set it at 55. Aaron Judge will hit 55-plus home runs this year. You going to buy or sell?
All right, Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, there
Aaron,
he is.
What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Can you hit 55? Aaron Judge, right? I got it in my head here. 55 is asking a lot, Sam. It's asking a lot. He hit 53 last year, 58 the year before, 37, but that was the year he hurt his toe in Dodger Stadium, and then, of course, 62. I got to sell this. All right, you're asking for just to be 7 home runs off the record? I mean, no, he can't keep doing this every year here. Plus, he does have an injury history there. Over the last 2 years, he's been completely healthy. I'll just say no. Between possibility of an injury, teams waking up and going, nope, not pitching to him, I'll take the under here. Although, as a Yankee fan, he better. He better, because if he don't, Yankees going to be in a lot of trouble.
So I've decided to go by the letter of the law. Sam is not going to like this. Sam is not going to like my answer. Yep. Sam, listen, Sam leaves these little loopholes in the buy or sell. 55 home runs between 55 plus the regular season, postseason, World Baseball Classic, buy. Spring training, buy. Above 55 between spring training, World Baseball Classic, regular season, and postseason. Aaron Judge will hit 55 home runs. He didn't say this season. He didn't say this season. He said this year. The graphic says this year.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day on a wonderful Wednesday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time, watching, analyzing, and, of course, betting on the world of sports. Yes, Olympics. Couple of upsets in the making for college basketball, which gives us a couple of good betting opportunities. NBA rematch on the court, and who's going to win this NBA game? Nick Hamady, NBA writer, speaking of which, will join us in a little bit. Also, Cam Stewart, a good buddy, will do some golf and some Olympic hockey with him as Team USA gets underway tomorrow morning. So it should be a lot of fun. First up, though, it is game time. What's betting you up tonight, Gabe?
Yeah, men's hockey has begun in the Olympics, and the first game up, we had a massive upset. Slovakia knocks off the Finns in the opening game, and I'll tell you what, the Italians nearly went Rocky Balboa style and knocked off the Swedes in their opener. It's sort of the calm before the storm, before, the U.S. and Canada step onto the ice tomorrow. But the hockey delivered, and I think today was a lesson for people that don't understand international hockey or just sort of new to hockey as a whole. In the NHL, it's tough for a goalie to completely carry a team, but internationally in a one-game situation, and we saw this today with Sweden and Italy. Don't be fooled by the final score. This game was 2-2 with about 10 minutes left. At one point, Sweden were out shooting Italy 49-11. And in fact, Sweden set an all-time Olympic record today with 60 shots on goal. All right, it was 2-2. The Italian goalie was that good. And I think this is going to be a sign of things to come moving forward. Let the chaos begin in Milan Cortina.
All right. Opening pickoff time. Let us get into our first initial picks. We'll have plenty throughout the evening. I'll start in the NBA. I was on this last night, Gabe. I'm stubborn. I'm going to go right back to the well, even though it went under last night. Let's go with the over 210.5 or so Clippers and Houston Rockets. It's a rare back-to-back in which they play on successive days and they play in the same city for some goofy reason. Went under last night, but I don't think you're going to have the same intensity. Last game of the season for these guys before the All-Star break, which is starting after tomorrow night. It doesn't take much to get to 211 points in an NBA game. So give me over 210.5. I don't think they duplicate last night's lower scoring game. Give me the over 210.5 Clippers and Rockets.
I like that these two teams are playing again. It makes it easy for me. Last night we took the Clippers, and admittingly, it took a last-second 3-point shot. They were down by 10, and we were getting like 8.5, 9, whatever. They were down by 10. They hit the 3 with 3 seconds left to cover the number. But on the flip side of that, Kevin Durant hit a couple of free throws. So we got back-to-back games here. They took Kawhi Leonard out of the game last night with about 7 minutes left, and he's playing this evening. We're getting 8.5. Very simple. Listen, the Houston Rockets, guys, I pretty much take them every chance we get on this show, and they're 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 basketball games. All right, so give me the Los Angeles Clippers plus the points tonight. I think the Clippers are going to be a little bit more spirited after losing last night too. Give me the Clippers plus the points.
All right. Next one for me, college basketball. Texas Tech laying 13.5, 14.5 or so, depending on where you do your shopping against Colorado. You know, it's a big number, and it's tough to lay that kind of wood this late in the year. But you know what? They're due. They're overdue. Hate that phrase, but you know, they did beat Colorado by only 2 just a few weeks ago at Colorado, which should awaken them and make them realize they can't poo-poo this game, even though Colorado stinks and Texas Tech is one of the best teams in the nation. They've lost 2 of 3, and like I said, they're in for a big spot. Here's the key. They're second in three-point shooting in the Big 12. Colorado is last in three-point shooting defense. So that 2-point win a couple of weeks ago, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think Texas Tech wins going away. I'll lay the 14.5 against Colorado with Tech.
Last night we gave you John Collins of the Los Angeles Clippers over 13.5 points. Tonight it's 14.5. So he finished with 17 last night. He had 13 in the first half, and then he only had 4 in the second half last night. So they've adjusted. They moved it up 1 point. It's 14.5 tonight. For the record, he scored 15 or more in 7 straight games and 8 of the last 9. So we're going to keep on riding John Collins until they make it 16.5, 17.5, or until the Clippers are fully set with all their players, because will Collins play as much, but he's playing 30 minutes a night now, and he's putting up numbers doing it. John Collins, Clippers, over 14.5.
All right. I'm going to grab an NBA game. How about the Miami Heat laying 1.5 at New Orleans? Heat are coming off the upset loss in which they blew a 18-point lead. Adebayo kind of called them out a little bit afterwards. Last game again before the All-Star break. They're not playing well, Miami, I will say, but they're not going to lose 2 in a row, really, are they? To the New Orleans Pelicans and Utah Jazz, back-to-back 2 of the worst teams in the NBA. Miami's not great, I get that, but they have too much heart. No way, no. I got to see it to believe it. Give me Miami, basically. Pick them at New Orleans.
I like the Pelicans in this game. I think the Pelicans are going to beat them. Nobody's playing for Miami. Like, they're just absolutely, like, gutted and shredded. But the thing is, the Pelicans as a favorite, like,
yeah,
you're letting the Pelicans a favorite. I think the Pelicans are like 3-17 against teams with a winning record, too. The Pelicans don't beat, like, above 500 teams, but I do like the Pelicans personally in that game. But let's go with Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. As I stated, everybody is out for the Miami Heat. And if you're Bam Adebayo, you want to run your mouth and you want to talk about how bad everybody is on your team, you better deliver in the next game after doing it, right? And quite frankly, the Pelicans shouldn't be able to stop him, right? Pelicans have won 2 straight, actually. They're on a little bit of a run by their standards. You know, the Pelicans actually are 17-11 against the spread at home this year, too. It's the third best record in the NBA at home. But, you know, this is different. They got to win the game. But I do think the Pels win. But give me, for the bet purpose, give me Bam Adebayo over 21.5 points scored.
Heat, by the way, 10-1 straight up their last 11 against New Orleans. So, last one from me, college basketball. Not many 8 o'clock games, but I like this one. Why not? We'll throw a couple shekels on. How about over 156.5, North Dakota at South Dakota? It's got to be a big rivalry game, right? How about North Dakota, 8-2 over their last 10? How about South Dakota, Scott, 10-5 over their last 15? How about the series? The series is only 6-4 over, but over the last 6 games, they've all had 157 points or more, which what this line is, 156.5. So if you want to go by that standard, the last 6 would have gone over with this number. A lot of over numbers there. It's worth a hunch play. Give me over 156.5 North Dakota versus South Dakota.
We're going to go with another NBA player prop here, and this is in the Miami Heat game as well. As I stated, the Miami Heat are extremely shorthanded right now. So suddenly, Kasper Yakatunis is able to play. He's the kid, and Illinois always have these Lithuanians and Eastern European players. He was good last year with Illinois. So now he's getting some minutes. If you look at his, he basically plays 14 minutes a night, generally 13 minutes, 9 minutes, 13 minutes. But as I stated, they're shorthanded now. So 26 minutes and 32 minutes, and he's responded with 42 points. All right? The kid can score. He can shoot. So he's put up 22 against the Wizards, 20 against the Utah Jazz. It's 9.5. He's going to play another 30 minutes again tonight. They don't have Tyler Hero. So let's go over 9.5 with the rookie.
All right, opening picks. We are in. Got a couple of college basketball games that I want to get to before the break here. That, if you like Clemson, and I did today, they're actually down, Gabe, at the half against a good, a decent Virginia. I won't say great, but a decent Virginia Tech team. But still, Clemson was a solid 7-8 point favorite. They're down 8, 47-39. They just started the second half. You're getting 4.5 with Clemson. Any interest on the Tigers? A little money line action.
You know what? I did play a money line parlay tonight in college basketball, which means I had a bad day today because I hate money line parlays, and I did not have a great day. But I didn't trust them. I know they're good, but I didn't trust Clemson today. So the plus 4.5 is intriguing, but not enough for me to pull the trigger right now.
The other one that we'll talk on the other side, UConn is losing, albeit by only 3. They're still 5.5 point favorite, but that's a bit of a surprise. More coming up.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on a nice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and Japan, and everybody. There's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. So we are in with our opening pickoffs. Just to recap, I have the over in the Clipper-Houston Rockets game. We're going to grab Texas Tech laying the double digits against Colorado. I'll take the Heat laying 1.5. Listen, they're 10-1 against New Orleans. And I'll grab over 156 North Dakota, South Dakota. It's got to be a rivalry, right? We know it is in football. It's got to be in basketball. I think we get some points. So let's grab the over 156.5, Gabe.
doing the exact same damn thing. But I've had a long day. I've been watching Olympics all day. I've been getting crushed in luge races and mogul ski races and stuff. So I look at the board at 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh, good. It's the Clippers again. I'm like, perfect.
Less research, right?
Yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, good. It was just sort of automatic. I was like, because I look at the NBA board, a lot of games, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I sort of go down. I got to the Clippers, and I'm like, oh, that's right. They're going back to back in the same building. So, yeah, give me the Clippers again. Like I said, we covered last night, but it was a 3-point shot. What I like about it, though, last night, the Clippers, Tyronn Lue pulled everybody. He does that all the time. So, and it was weird, Scott. It was like an 8-point game type thing. Right, because I had Kawhi over 27.5, and he was up to like 23, 24. And I was like, if they leave him in and they try to come back, and they got down by like 11 or whatever, and Tyronn Lue, knowing they played tonight, he just pulled everybody with like 6-7 minutes left. And no one came back, except the bench came in and actually stormed back and made it a game. They cut the lead to like 4 or whatever, right? The bench. So I like that, actually, that the bench showed something. Now tonight, the starters get back after it. You don't want to lose both of these games if you're the Clippers, so you'll get an honest effort from tonight. So, and I'm getting 8.5, 9. I got it up to 10, actually. It was 9. I just made it 10 on the alt line. So I got an even 10, 10.5, actually, in an SGP sort of alt line. And then, it's like I said, John Collins, guys, I'm going to keep riding it, Scott. It's 7 in a row now. 7 games in a row, over 15 points. It's 14.5 tonight. 8 of the last 9. It's like 11 of the last 14. People don't talk about it. The dude's scoring 15, 16 points a night right now for him. So I went with John Collins over the 14.5. I stayed away from Kawhi, though, at 27.5 tonight, just because I don't like star player props.
Yeah.
The numbers are too sharp, and you never know with Kawhi, right? With minutes and stuff. You just don't know.
Yeah, that you got to
Especially
stay with. That's logic.
Especially on
Like,
a back-to-back,
Yeah,
right?
a back-to-back.
If they fall down, like, they're going to pull Kawhi. Like, they'll just be like, all right, whatever, we lost both games here. But I think they'll give it a spirited effort, especially in the first half, to try to, like, not fall behind to get this win.
Right. Especially last game of the before the All-Star break for them, like with Kawhi, as far as like, yeah, if they were to fall behind big, and I don't think they will
That's another
either.
thing, too. It's
like,
All-Star
no
week,
reason.
and that's another thing.
Yeah.
These teams, it's their last game and all that type of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I always hate that. I always hate the
I'm
last
not a
game
big.
before the
Yeah.
All-Star game, and I never like the first games out of an All-Star game.
Yeah.
Even in baseball.
You just don't know where. You don't know what their mindsets are. You really don't.
Hockey,
I mean, you don't know
baseball,
where it is
exactly.
anyway. But especially now, right before the All-Star break, it's like, are these guys really want to be out there in the NBA? Different sports may be different, but NBA.
The Spurs, though,
You're-
each team's different. I know the Spurs are in a good mood, right? They smashed the Lakers. You see, that was wild.
Crushed them.
Wembanyama
Yeah.
outscored the Lakers by himself in the first quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had 25
I
points in
mean,
the first. Like,
the
this guy's a
37
freak.
at the
Like,
half,
when
yeah.
he wants to, like, if like Wembanyama is like, yeah, I'm going to bring it tonight, you can't stop him.
Right.
Like, he's winning a title.
they
Like, the
ever
only
put-
question is, just point blank, is it this year, next year, 2 years? And I'll tell you what, this kid's got his eyes on a gold medal at the Olympics. He's not happy they lost. That was close, too, man. But, dude, they were down.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't for Steph Curry hitting a 3 late, France wins the gold medal type thing. And they got all these
Yeah.
young players, too, that are getting better, France. Like, they're no joke, man, Team France in basketball. I'm just saying, Wembanyama is like, yeah, I can't wait for Los Angeles. I'm thinking this kid is like a one-man wrecking crew, too.
He's a better version than Ralph Sampson. Remember Ralph Sampson when he came
Yeah.
out 7'4", just towered over
Yeah, it's a
everybody,
good
right?
comparison, actually. But the thing is, good comparison
though.
in the sense of the athletic ability for such a big dude. Not
Right.
like, you know what I mean, like the, Bull, or, you know what I mean, Manute Ball.
Yeah,
or
Manute Ball, yeah.
Bradley
I
or
remember them.
whatever. Like, Rashawn
Yeah.
Bradley was 7'7", but the guy was a giraffe and he couldn't move. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
it's like the kid I know.
BYU
He's
guy.
on Florida. Olivier Giroux
Right.
is his name. He's on Florida. He's literally one of the tallest people in the world. He's 7'9", Scott.
Yeah.
He's 7'9" before he puts his hands up.
They had a
So
shot at
imagine-
him. He doesn't have to jump to touch the rim.
So imagine
he
you're
literally can
8
stand
feet
under
tall,
the basket.
you put your hands up. Yeah, you're literally
touch the
he's
rim.
basically touching the rim without jumping type
Yeah.
thing. He's like, you know what I mean? Thing is, when you're that big, it's hard to be graceful.
Yeah.
Like he's clunky. You know what I mean? The kid's 8 feet tall. Like, so he's actually pretty good though. He's from Montreal. Like, I've known him since he's a kid. He's been famous. He was like, he's in the Guinness Book of World
Oh,
Records.
yeah.
He was like, the biggest teenager in the world type thing. And like, He's broken every size record for his age. He's on the Florida Gators. Comes off the bench now in blowouts late and stuff like that. They're starting to ease him in a little bit. And it's interesting. His goals, year 2 for him. He didn't play it all last year, but he got a ring. You know what I mean? He got he was there type thing. Got on the floor a bit, token dunk, whatever. Now he gets in and he plays 6-7 minutes. You know, they'll leave him in there a little bit. But the plan is they're hoping that in year 4, he ain't running to the NBA, this kid. He likes his life. They're hoping in year 4, Scott, that he actually becomes a real player. Look, dude, if you're 8 feet tall, you got to find room for a kid that's 8 feet tall on my team.
I was going to say, how good is Florida that they can't play a guy?
I'm going to give you a chance. I can find a spot on my bench for you, you know? Block,
you imagine if
a couple of fouls, cause havoc in the paint, whatever. Dude.
Well, late in the game, even if the team is trying to inbound the basketball, just put him on the inbound guy, right? I mean, how the hell are you going to throw the ball in bounds?
Look at Zach Edey from Purdue. He's a big dude too. He's big. He's like 7'4", 7'2.5". So he's thick, man. And people didn't really like him. I remember someone in the media, in the NBA media, said, "Oh, it's the worst draft pick ever. He's a stiff. He won't play." He's pretty good in the NBA. Dude, when you're that big, he's a load. It's freaking hard to shoot over these guys. I saw Chris Paul talk about it. Chris Paul's been in the NBA forever. He goes, "Man, Wemby, he's impossible to stop." But he goes, even worse. He goes, "He's really hard to shoot over." He goes, "You got to shoot this he goes, so it messes with your shot because you see him and you're like, oh, I got to shoot a higher arc shot over him." And he goes, he really messes with you when he's on the floor.
Yeah. And he's guarding guards, believe it or not, Wemby. All right, more coming up in Game Live.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and Japan, and everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 1. Scott and Gabe checking out all the action, little NBA, little college basketball. We did have it. We were talking in the break there, Gabe. We had the penalties handed down, and you said it. We were kind of both right. I mean, I was hoping for 10 and 25. I didn't expect that. I thought maybe Stewart would get at least 10. He got 7. The other guys got 3 or 4. So it wasn't necessarily slap on the wrist, but
it was like,
yeah, these guys don't want to play anyway, so it's like, yeah, great coach.
Anyways. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. It's like,
So
all
it's
right,
like you
fine,
give
thanks.
Jalen Duren a 2-game suspension. If you're the Pistons, what do you care? You're like, we're
Yeah.
the 1 seed. All right, we'll give the kid 2 nights off, whatever. Like, it's like, if I was a player in the NBA, I would punch someone for 2 games. Like Schroeder got
Yeah.
to punch Luke 3 games only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I got to punch a guy I don't like in the hallway, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, like you were right. They really don't like Stewart, right? They really don't like Stewart, and you guys were right because me, I was more casual. I'm more of a hockey. I'm like, hey, whatever, dude. They all ran around swinging at nothing, and no one really ever did anything. There was a mini headbutt, there was a face palm, right? But the escalation part, and they did put that in the
Yes.
fact that they refused to stop, right?
Yeah.
If they just did that little thing that they always do in the NBA, it would have been like, yeah, whatever. But you guys are right. Like Isaiah Stewart, like he would not stop. Like they kept it going, and they nearly fell in the crowd too. Like they got to the edge of the crowd, and the NBA's not happy about that. Like it's funny because I saw Sam Mitchell, who does the Raptors. Sam Mitchell was pretty much a hard ass, if you guys remember when he played. He was the coach of the Raptors, long time, played for the Minnesota Timberwolves for a long time. Like it was funny, and he said about how he got to the NBA in the tough era, and he said he didn't like it. He said, I played ball. I got to the NBA, and suddenly it was like fighting every night. And he goes, it wasn't really basketball. And he goes, I don't want to see it get back to that. And he's talked about why. But he had Leo Rowdins on, another former player and coach who I'm calling my buddies. I know them both, but I'm tighter with Leo. And I love it. And Leo played for the Philadelphia 76ers, Syracuse, coached the Canadian League. Yeah. Good player. He basically said the same thing. He goes, that was embarrassing. He goes, none of these guys can fight. Why even bother? You all look like idiots, right? And he's all like, and Sam Mitchell's from the street. Mitchell goes, and another thing. He goes, there's a rule in the code in the NBA. He goes, everybody knows each other. And he goes, everybody sees each other in the garage before the game. He goes, if you really want to fight someone, you do what Schroeder did, and you go and you fight someone. Don't act a clown and fake it on the court. You know what I mean? You see it all the time, Scott. They're fake fighters. They talk. It's like drunks at a bar. They'll talk. The bouncer shows up, blah, 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 blah. But nobody ever really, remember one of my favorite moments of all time, and may Kobe rest in peace, but it really was awesome. Do you remember when Chris Childs just slapped Kobe in the face out of the blue?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Chris Childs. Kobe was mouthing off. Chris Childs didn't play around. He was a smaller dude, too, point guard. But Chris Childs like a street ball type kid, man. And Kobe Bryant was like pushing him and sort of running his mouth and calling him a chump and stuff. And out of the blue, he just sucker punched him. Boom.
Wow.
Like, that's what I like about the old NBA guys. A lot of instances of that, right? Where Charles Oakley would just punch someone. Right? There's a famous story. Tyreek Hill owed Charles Oakley money from a poker game once. For the game, Charles, true story. Charles Oakley saw Hill sitting on the bench, like by himself, like at the pregame warmup. He took a basketball and he threw it as hard as he could and hit him in the head. Like, if you did that now, like imagine if like Kuminga, just random play. I just first guy out of mind. Jonathan Kuminga throws ball and hits Steph Curry in the back of the head. Dude, it'd be like you wanted 25 games for these people. You'd be off, lock them up, throw away the key, put them in jail. Dude, Larry Bird used to throw balls at people's heads and punch people on the court.
He was the biggest trash talker in the world.
Funny. It was fun, but speaking of which, the Pistons are playing the Raptors, and they're up by 10 right now. Raptors are good.
Look at that.
See them beat a real team.
The two teams, right? You think you get suspended players, they're not playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte's up 19, all right?
Wow.
So much for punishing them. And Detroit on the road is already up 10, like you said. So much for punishing them, you know?
And no punishment at all. If they both win.
They're really, right? It's amazing.
I'm a Charlotte up by 20, eh? So their streak is snapped, and they get right back on the train and start winning again. Very Buffalo Sabre-like. Very Buffalo Sabre-like, Scott. Remember, they did that too. They lost the game. It was like, all right, let's see what happens now. You guys lost like 5-0 or whatever. Boom. They went to Toronto, and they beat the Leafs the next time.
Yeah, that's the sign of a good team. You're all going to have streaks. Let the streak lose and then continue that streak. More NBA talk. Nick Hamady coming up next.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one. Taking a look at the NBA. And with that, let's welcome in our good buddy, NBA writer, college basketball writer as well, zonecoverage.com. Follow him on Twitter at @TheRealTinyNick, Nick Hamady. What's going on, Nick? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Just checking out a little NBA. Final 2 days, today and tomorrow before the All-Star break. I know you got a couple of props you want to throw us, some futures in there, but we do have a couple of games to get to. First up, how about a little San Antonio Golden State? Where are we going with that one tonight?
Yeah, did you guys watch that Spurs-Lakers game by chance last night?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I did. I just talked about it. That one of the craziest things. How many? I got to look this up because I didn't see. How many times has it ever happened, Nick, that one player outscored a team in a quarter before? Yeah, obviously
not very often.
When he dropped 100, you know what I mean? Yeah, but like, dude, he outscored the Lakers for real in the first quarter last night. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, before that game came on, probably about 15 minutes, I was sitting with my buddy Ethan, and we were just thinking to ourselves, how is this not a 25-point spread? 13.5 with that Spurs team rolling the way that they were. I mean, we hammered it. It was a lot of fun last night. The game was over before it started.
How about Bronny James, though? Hey, he had like 12 points or whatever. Remember yesterday, Scott? Bronny James. I said,
that's
James
the thing.
in the game, 5.5. He had like, what did he finish with, 12, 13 off the top of my head? Whatever. You know.
Yeah, I think 12 it was. Yeah.
I mean, if you looked at the roster that the Lakers were putting out last night, it was pretty much impossible for them to score even close to what the Spurs were going to put up. The Spurs are on a tear right now, and I'm gonna roll with them to keep going on that tear right now. They've scored over 135 points in their last 3 games. It's pretty crazy. The Warriors have scored under 100 points.
Castle only scored 2 points, too, against the Lakers, coming off his 40-point game. That's the thing with the Spurs. Imagine that, Scott. Stephen Castle was coming off a 40-point game. He played like 11 minutes, bro, against the Lakers. See, that's how you do it. You don't, oh, he's not playing tonight. It's like, nah, whatever, dude. We're killing the Lakers and let Wemby go off tonight. He had 40 the other night. Like,
yeah, I was hoping
the team, Nick. I love how they manage the team.
I was hoping that Wemby would go for 100 in that first quarter last night. To be honest with you, it crossed my mind more than it should have for a modern NBA game. But no, the Warriors, as I was mentioning, 6.5, 7 points at the close. I think it's not enough points. The Spurs, I know they're on a back-to-back. Check the injury report. Make sure Nobody's sitting out last minute, but the Spurs should roll the Warriors tonight. It's a Jimmy Butlerless team. They don't have Steph Curry. They're a team right now that, much like the Lakers, they're putting out a product that it's just not sustainable to keep up with the Spurs team that looks like it might be the class of the West, especially with what they've done head-to-head against the Thunder. Wemby's absolutely rolling right now. As you mentioned, nobody even had to play much last night. They kept him in just for stat lines at that point, but that game was over before it started. I think it's going to be pretty similar tonight. Come on, guys. No Jimmy Butler, no Steph Curry. Where are the Warriors going to get their scoring from?
So from a player prop, we always got to look at that, though, right? I always like the team that's beaten down with nobody. So who do they have here tonight? Draymond Green, DeAnthony Melton, Moses Pozinski, Santos, and
I like Moody. Moody probably goes over.
Moody.
Moody's 15 and a half. And Moody. So Moody. So I was going to ask you, who's going to get the most shots here? Who's going to be taking the shots? Moody and Pozinski too. I would say Moody and Pozinski personally.
Every time I bet on pods, he goes under for me. So I'm not going to take a whiff on him. But I'm looking at Moody. Somebody's got to take these shots for the Warriors. They're a team, much like we talk about it with the Kings, like somebody's got to score. Somebody's got to play in these games. But the Warriors are a weird team that they start giving 15 to 20 minutes to too many guys. It's hard to hit prop totals often, so that's why I kind of stay away from that. Is it just me, or should this game be capped at a 10-point game, 11-12? Why is this under 10 for a spread? I know the back-to-back factor is huge in the NBA, but what have the Warriors shown us, especially as of late?
Great parlay material there, too. I mean, minus 230. I'm going to put this with hockey, right? I'm just going to see what that is. Spurs to win, Canada to win hockey tomorrow. Minus 150.
Kind of
not even.
Not bad.
Yeah, I don't hate that. And kind of keeping on the theme of like these player props of like with teams that are sitting out. Look at the Suns right now with how many guys they have in and out of the lineup. I'm taking a look at Colin Gillespie to go over 14 and a half points. When Grayson Allen is out, he's actually averaging 17. So he likes when Grayson's out. And not only is Grayson out, you've got a Devin Booker injury to keep an eye on here for tip-off. It looks like he's going to be out. Jalen Green looks like he's going to be out as well again. Again, another team that the Suns are scrappy. They find a way to hang in games. They're going up against a good Thunder team, but somebody's going to have to score. I expect Colin Gillespie to score, win or lose, against a Thunder team that's also missing a bunch of their guys.
How about a couple of futures? We're approaching the NBA, obviously, All-Star break, and we got OKC. Nick has the overwhelming favorite, but you're looking to go elsewhere. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm going to start out just so I don't go straight into a bias. I'm going to start out with the Nuggets at plus 550 to win the NBA championship, just to earn a little bit of credibility here. The Nuggets this year have not had their guys very often. I mean, we've seen it night in and night out. Jokic, Gordon, Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, all these guys pretty much hurt all the time. Now Peyton Watson's got a hamstring injury after he emerged as a star. But when Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic play, both of them play at the same time. These guys are 16-6 this year. They're still the same team that they've been throughout the last few years. They can keep up with anybody. They should have beaten the Thunder last year, which a lot of people forget. If not everybody got hurt for the entire Nuggets organization, including Aaron Gordon for Game 7. They would have won that series. And they're even stronger this year, in my opinion. They've got a lot of depth. Things are going to click at some point for this Nuggets team, and I expect it to happen at the right time.
And I'll go ahead, fire away with your bias. I know where you're going.
I mean, if I told you there's 30 teams in the NBA.
Timberwolves take coming here? Is this where we're going?
Yeah, maybe.
If I told you guys there's 30 teams in the NBA and you can get a team that's been to back-to-back conference finals at 28-1 to win the NBA finals this year, would you take it?
It's not bad. Yeah.
Come on.
It's not bad.
Come on, it's too good to be true. This is like 15-1.
What do you think of Gobert calling him? What about the vibe of the team? I think Anthony Edwards is handling it fine, in which he said, hey, I think the effort's there. You know what I mean? So just what's the vibe of the team, in your opinion? So you've got confidence that things could take off once they get to the playoffs?
I have confidence that this team, very similar to last year and 2 years ago, is a team that people are going to hit the panic alarm 5-10 more times throughout the regular season. And you just got to hope they show up and click in the playoffs. You got to hope that Ant plays like a superstar. I'm not worried about the Rudy Gobert stuff. He literally punched Kyle Anderson in the face a couple years ago. Everybody on that team knows what to expect from Rudy. I mean, it's a funny group of guys. You got Nas Reed, who's always ready to fight. You got Jaden, who's always ready to fight. You got Ant, who's one of the most electric players in the NBA. You know, if you like the Wolves, it's awesome. If you don't like the Wolves, you still have to admit they're probably the most entertaining team in the league. And now they're adding Ayo Dosunmu to the mix. It's pretty crazy. A guy that I have a lot of confidence in to make the Wolves better. He's shooting like 45% from three this year. The Wolves had a little bit of a depth issue. Now they can keep Dante DiVincenzo in the starting lineup. They can move him to move Ayo to the bench. They can flip that around in the playoffs if something needs to change. But they have another point guard presence on this team. As I had mentioned throughout the year, that was a big hole. And they got to keep Jaden. They got to keep Julius Randle. They got to keep the whole core together. I have some confidence. And one more team, just to get off of my bias to kind of wrap things up here, is I like the Cavs. I know that a lot of people are all over the Cavs right now. But at 3-1, I trust James Harden and Donovan Mitchell to get it done. The Cavs are coming out of a really weak East right now. There's not a lot of depth in the East. I have no confidence in the Pistons or the Knicks to come out of the East. Look at the Cavs. They have the easiest remaining schedule in the whole NBA. Their starting five is absolutely lethal right now. And they have elite shooting all over the court with Jalen Tyson, Sam Merrill. Now they got Keon Ellis. We just mentioned James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. This team is stacked from top to bottom. They got rim protectors with Mobley and Allen. I trust the Cavs to get it done at 3-1.
That's not bad. James Harden home debut tonight for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's put up 11 points in 20 minutes. Not bad. Nick, great job as always, man. Appreciate a couple minutes. ZoneCoverage.com. Follow him on Twitter, The Real Tiny Nick. Thanks, Nick.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on a nice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much, as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Nick Hamady, for joining us, as he does from time to time, talking a little NBA. And it's never easy, betting the NBA anyway, Gabe, but especially on a night like this where most teams are playing their last game before the All-Star break. What do we got? I think there's 3, maybe 4 tomorrow. A lot of blowouts on the board. You got Charlotte by 17. You got the Knicks by, how many? 30 over Philadelphia. No Embiid for the 76ers. You got the Celtics by 28 over the Chicago Bulls. You got the Pistons by 12 over the Raptors closing out the first half. Maybe you want to go there. Decent start for Miami, 40-36 over New Orleans. And the Rockets, 42-30 over the LA Clippers. Little surprised with that. I do like the scoring on that one. It's up to 212.5, so that's good for our over 210.5, I suppose. But a lot of blowouts so far tonight. Anything on the board that you like there, NBA?
Yeah, I wouldn't write the Raptors off yet, although I'm already on the Raptors. They actually close as 1-point favorites in this game. They're down by 13, about to be 14, because Duncan Robinson's not going to miss free throws. So, and there it is. He hits it. I say that, but I'm sure at some point I'll need this guy to hit a free throw for a bet. But so he hits that, no problem. But they're up by 14 now. Yet I'm going to say it's deceptive. It is what it is. The Raptors just don't seem to be able to stop the Pistons offensively, which is somewhat of a surprise. Detroit have 64 points already, but the Raptors stumbled out of the gate early in this game. So it's a little bit deceptive. Like I said, they were down 10 after the first. They were down 10 after the first quarter. So they're still being outscored by 3 right now. They just hit a free throw themselves. But things have kind of evened out. So, and we all know in the NBA, right? One run, you're back in it. So, yeah, I think the Raptors are live, man, at plus 8.5. They won't be happy with the first half that they've had here. Pistons going on a back-to-back. Maybe it catches up to them in the second half a little bit. I think the Raptors plus 8.5 is a nice number. And as I say that, Detroit hits a free 3. Now you're getting 10.5.
I'd take two little flyers. I would, I didn't originally. I like the over, but I would take the Clippers right now, down 12, getting where's the number now? 12.5. I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row, or at least lose more than by 12 points. I think they'll hang tough with Houston, so I would take a flyer right now. And believe it or not, I'd take a flyer on the Chicago Bulls. I've seen this 1,000 times with the Celtics and Bulls. Celtics and anybody, actually, not just the Bulls, but they go out to a 20, 30-point lead. They always take their foot off the pedal, and the other team always makes a run. I'm not saying they're going to cut this to single digits. Yeah, you're getting almost 30 points. I'm telling you, the Celtics are the worst team in the history of sports with like a 20 or 30-point lead in the fourth quarter. Their subs just suck. They just stink. So I got a strong, funny feeling that Chicago, maybe they'll lose by like 15, 16, 17 points like that. I would take a flyer on them getting 29.5 right now, down 28.
I don't have a problem with that. There's a lot of big numbers. You talked about the Sixers are getting 24.5 right now. Bulls just scored a basket and suddenly 27.5. But you're right. We talked about it last night. When you're on the games are that big of a blowout, the other team just sort of stops playing. You're going to put their bench in, and the losing team is just going to keep chucking. So you sort of want the points there. How many teams really lose by 50, right, or 40, et cetera? So we go to the half here. You're right about the Clippers. Listen, it was very similar to last night. The Clippers were pretty much trailing all night last night, right? But it was always like close. It was always like by 4, by 6, by 8, by 10, by 12, by 6. Like it just sort of went back and forth. So tonight, the Rockets have been up pretty much all night. We just sort of need one run by the Rockets to even the score and sort of go into this like very close at the half. But 44-33 right now. And listen, it was 8.5. So they're basically, 3-point shot or a bucket away from covering the number here too. And right on cue, Scott, they just scored. So they're down 9 right now. I think the Clippers are still in this thing. And you're getting 12.5 for in-game right now.
That's not bad. That's really not bad. Well, what's happening to the Orlando Magic? They're losing again tonight. Team. Man,
Banchero's struggling. He's not the same player this year he was last year. They have injury issues too,
Bucks
out and stuff but they're not. They don't have the same. I was going to say they don't have the same magic, and I didn't even mean that. But you know what I mean. They don't have that. When teams get a vibe going, right? Up and coming teams like Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like you just sort of tell. I think it's somewhere like that sophomore slump. I think Orlando are kind of just frustrated. They thought, some people, they can go to the finals this year. They're a good team in the East. And I'm like, you guys got to slow down on that. I think they thought it would be easier, and it's not. And now they're just getting frustrated.
They're like
they can't score. They just don't have enough scores.
maybe it's just because it's the same state. I don't know, but I view them as like the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL. Trevor Lawrence, pretty good.
Yeah.
You keep on waiting for them to take that next step. They got a superstar player
Well, let me ask
supposedly.
you too. Don't their
and they're not
uniforms
with
suck?
either one.
They need new uniforms.
Yeah.
Seriously, like they need all right, with Shaq and Penny, the pinstripe stuff, like they've never, like you said, I don't know, they're like the Tampa Bay Rays or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and the Rays are actually good, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They
Just keep
almost
on
don't
waiting
feel
for
like-
them.
They almost don't feel like a real franchise sometimes. It's almost like, they're like a Disney team or something. Like, the Orlando Magic. Like who likes the Orlando Magic? You ever met anyone outside of like Orlando?
Yeah, outside of Orlando.
Die-hard Orlando Magic fan, man. Love the Magic.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
They were hot.
and stuff. Like,
When they had
Penny
Penny and
Hardaway,
Shaq.
Nick Anderson,
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal.
right.
But Scott, that was 30 years ago.
I know. We
Think
say
about
that like it
when
was like
did
4
that
years ago.
sense? Yeah, like, okay, who are the star players on them? Anthony Hardaway, Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Anderson. Yeah, okay. It's literally 30, 35 years ago.
Yeah. Nick Anderson could
What
hit a
did
couple
that
of free throws. They
sense?
would have won a championship.
Like, I don't even
You're
remember
right.
how many times they've been in the playoffs, bro. Like, they're never in the playoffs. They're just sort of there.
Yeah.
They're the Sacramento Kings of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. You just, like I said, it's not the Dwight Howard. That's true. They had the Dwight Howard teams, but they were halfway
right.
decent. Yeah. Until
Oh,
the
they
coach
were
was
okay.
telling him at the press conference that he stunk, behind his back.
I think they
With
need
Van Gundy.
uniforms, personally. Their
Remember that
uniforms
with
suck.
Van Gundy? You want to blame it on the uniforms. All right, I'll blame it on the players.
Yeah, I'll
And
blame
we're
it on
coming
the
up closer.
And Orlando's a city, too.
I love Orlando.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing out hour number one. We got Cam Stewart, little golf, little Winter Olympics with him with the hockey next hour. Don't look now, but here come the Florida Gators. We weren't writing them off completely at the beginning of the year by any stretch. Maybe more so me just wondering would they return it around, Gabe. But you know what? They're in the process. They're beating Georgia by 15
Dude.
on the road. Decent Georgia team, right? They're going to be 9-1 now. Their last 10 games. They're ranked 14th. They're playing good ball. You want to put a little flyer in on a team with good odds? Florida's the one, Gabe.
I'm telling you, I'm always ahead of the curve, man. Like 2 weeks ahead. Like I was way ahead of questioning Peterson. Now I see even Bruce. Oh, I wouldn't trust him. NBA guys, like I'm with you. Florida. I remember I brought it up last week once. No one's talking about the SEC at all, right? Just just sort of doesn't exist because I don't know. Last year it was so damn dominant, or the past couple of years, you know, whatever. They had 14 teams in the tournament or whatever. It was ridiculous. Like it was elite. They don't have that flashy team this year, and people have ignored them. Oh, the Big 12. Oh, Michigan, Arizona, right? Oh, even Gonzaga. You know what I mean? Everybody else, everyone ignored the SEC, and like you said, this Florida team, they're the defending champions. Right, but they had new point guards. They had to sort of ease things in. They had a tricky schedule early, Scott. Very similar to the Kansas Jayhawks. I told people, don't dismiss Kansas. And now they're even scared. Look, if they can win out without Darren Peterson and actually get this kid to care and play in the tournament, they'll be dangerous as hell. But I'm with you. I think the Florida Gators can play with anybody. Like we can't write this team off. And you know as well as I do, too. They're going to want to set it up so they can get one SEC team in the Final Four at least.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like from a bracket perspective, think about it, guys. They set it up, guys. They know what they're doing. It ain't random. You always think it's coincidence. Oh, I can't believe he's coaching his former coach, or he's coaching his son and it's his brother. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they sit there and go, this team's going to be that team, and then we'll get this matchup. You know, Izzo versus Michigan or whatever. Like they'll set up a couple of like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, we'll make Michigan play Michigan State in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four. That'll be a big. You know, we'll make Duke play whatever, you know, Kansas.
Yeah, Patino will play Kentucky or Louisville with St. John's.
St. John's, stuff, Kentucky, classic example.
Oh, classic. That is not done by accident, people. You're right, Gabe.
I say Louisville, Scott, because Kentucky sucks.
Louisville, You know what I mean? But,
great call, though. That's what I'm saying. It's not by coincidence. Oh, what a matchup. Rick Pitino takes on a Louisville Cardinal or for a spot in the Sweet Six. Like, no, you guys planned this. Like you knew they were going to win, and so they don't want a Big Ten takeover, right? They're not going to say, oh yeah, you know what? Let's get like a bunch of Big Ten teams or Big 12. They don't want a Big 12, Big 10 takeover. So I think Florida will sort of get a somewhat favorable path to get there, Scott. And I think Florida are the real deal too. I think they can play with pretty much anybody.
And we all know they take care of the Dookie Pukies. Every single year, they get a cupcake schedule. There's always semifinals or Elite Eight games in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I used to hate them in Leitner days. I got no problem with Duke now. They're not.
See, I'm the opposite. Scott. I used to like them in the Leitner days, and now I hate them.
Really?
Although I don't dislike them as much without Coach K around. But now that Coach K's gone, I can kind of go back to liking them.
All right, can you even name the players on Duke now? Like, so what? Do you hate Cameron Boozer or was Isaiah Evans or whatever? Like, they're just players. Like, they're just, you know what I mean? They're not that hateable. You want to punch them in the face type. Grayson Allen was.
Right, great. Yeah, he's another one. JJ Redick was another pain in the butt. You know, Coach
it's funny. I like JJ Redick now as like a person. I think he's smart. I like him. Does good. You know, he's a good coach. Good basketball takes. Like I like him. But I hated JJ Redick. I'll admit, I hated JJ Redick. Like Grayson Allen, I hated them all, bro. Man, man, we're going back now. Danny Ferry.
Danny Ferry. I remember Gene Banks. Those are the old Duke Pukey days. Eugene Banks.
Yeah. But remember, Danny Ferry was sort of like one of the first ones that became nationally hated. Like, just some college kid. People were like, man, I just hate this kid that plays for Duke. And then Leitner just owned it and loved it. Like, he actually embraced it.
He did. He had one of those personalities, like you and I, like would embrace stuff like that. He had one of those personalities that just like, bring it on. He was a halfway decent NBA. Like I think he got a knock for being like a lousy NBA player. He wasn't lousy. He wasn't a superstar. Obviously, he was the one guy, the one college kid on the dream team. But he just wasn't a superstar in the NBA. That's all. So
there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to be like a lot of guys weren't stars in college and are NBA stars. Right? It's hard to be both. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, he was a star there, but he had a serviceable NBA career.
Yeah. He made his money. That's for sure. So,
still
hour
a
number
jerk,
2
dude.
coming up. In-game live. More winning picks on the other side.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on a nice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much, as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. We got Cam Stewart coming up at the bottom of the hour. Do a little golf, a little Olympic hockey with him as Team USA gets underway tomorrow in the Olympics. College basketball, you got some upsets. Virginia Tech's going to beat Clemson. How about that? 76-66. I think your final is there. Let me know when it gets to the point where you think your Michigan Wolverines are going to lose tonight, Gabe, because they're actually down against Wisconsin.
They're down 5.
Northwestern.
Settle down, Wetzel. They're down 5.
I'm just asking, just not making an accusation. Just when does it get to the point where you're down 22-17 with 11 minutes left still in the first half? High-scoring game.
I just caught my eye. I'm like, oh, they're down at, you know what? They closed is minus 2,500 favorites. It's down to 700 right now. So they're like 9.5 now. I thought it was too high. I wasn't going to lay 15.5, 16.5 on the road here. But what do you got? I got a couple of games tipping off. What do you got here?
Yeah, a little late night pickoff here. I always tend to forget about that. I'll start with a little college basketball. How about under 157.5 Missouri at Texas A&M? Decent little under numbers here. Missouri 8-4 under their last 12, and then in the series 12-3 under. A&M can play some good defense. I think they're the better team. They're at home. I don't think they're getting to 160 points. I worry about that Missouri team. Give me under 157.5 Missouri at Texas A&M.
I'm going to go with the Liberty Flames tonight on the road. Liberty, they're a very good road team. Yeah, they're a 20-3 team on the season, actually. They're having a really nice year this year. New Mexico State can be good sometimes. This isn't a good New Mexico State team this year. They're 11-12. No home court advantage. 7-4 on their home court. Liberty, 7-1 on the highway. And Liberty are on a freaking roll right now. And you look at New Mexico State, Scott, they lose at home. Like they lost to Delaware by 11. They lost at home to FIU by 3. They lost to Missouri State at home, 84-75. Hell, Middle Tennessee, they haven't won a freaking home game in like a month and a half. I think they get such little support. They're better on the road, like, to be honest. Like, it's just one of those. They're bad on the road, too. They're 2-6 on the road. They're 7-4 at home. Give me Liberty. Lay the 3.5 if you want. Take the money line at -170, whatever you see fit. But let's go with the Liberty Flames tonight.
All right. Going to use an over in an NBA game here. Just want to double check on the number. Wow, it's up to 239.5. Wow. All right. Well, we're still going to do it. It was 235.5 earlier today. Over 239.5. Memphis and Denver. Nothing but over trends. Memphis 6-0 over their last 6 games. Denver 6-0 over their last 6 games. And the series is 5-2 over. Last game for these teams before the All-Star break. If you look at the numbers so far tonight, from most, not all, but most of the games, you're not seeing too much defense tonight. It's a big fat number. I know that, but I'll take our chances that Memphis comes to play a little bit tonight. Over 239.5, Memphis at Denver.
I'm going to go over the number with Wake Forest and Georgia Tech, guys. This is a perfect over type of game. 2 teams that want to run and gun, 2 teams that kind of suck. They're not playing for anything. Georgia Tech are 11-13. Wake Forest are 11-12. They're both running and gunning. Wake are 15-8 to the over. Georgia Tech are 15-9 to the over. Wake are 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. You look at Georgia Tech, they just gave up 95 in their last game. The game before that, they gave up 90. They scored 85. There's a pattern with them. They gave up 91, 90, and 95 in their last 3 games, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech just score, but they can't stop you. So this game, it's it's high for a reason. It's 157.5. But let's go over the number with the Yellow Jackets and the Demon Deacons.
I like that one. I looked at that one myself as well. The only thing that's a little scary with that one, it was 159.5 last night, and then I saw it today at 157.5. I'm like, who's betting it under in a Georgia Tech Wake Forest game? That didn't make any sense to me. So, how about the over? I'm going to grab it. This is simply a trend pick, but it's a pretty good trend. Over 140.5, Loyola Marymount at Pacific. The trend, 10-0 their last 10 meetings in this series, and you're getting a real good number as far as you don't need 150 or 160 points. 140.5. I'll take my chances. I love that 10-0 over last 10 meetings. Give me over Marymount and Pacific.
Love it. And in fact, I'm on this game as well. And you know what? I wish I was able to see more games and more teams live for betting purposes. You get a great scouting report. Yeah. And so I saw Loyola Marymount live last week against, in fact, it was 7 goals a week ago. I can't believe it's been a week already. But I was there in San Francisco, and they beat San Francisco, the Dons, 84-75. The game was like, the total was like 144.5, and it got to 159. So it sailed over the number. And the game before that, they were getting lit up every game. They lost 104-73 in the game before that. But then they beat USD 82-63. And my comments were the other night after seeing Loyola Marymount live, I said, I don't know how these guys don't have a better record. Like, I watch them up close. They're big, they're athletic, they're good, they rebound. They don't shoot the ball very well, but they're very aggressive. They're like an LA street ball team. And now they're 13-13. I think they can turn the corner here. Pacific are having a nice year. I mean, Dave Smart's done an awesome job with this program, but I like the 5.5 in this game. I think it'll be a close game, and I love the over as well in this game. Loyola Marymount Pacific over and LMU plus the 5.5.
All right. Last one from me. Under 145.5, 146.5, depending on where you do your shopping. Seattle at Santa Clara. I will throw a little caveat in there. So Seattle is one of our automatic under teams, and they've been phenomenal. One of the best under teams in America. 8-1 under their last 9. What could be the problem? The problem is they suck. So they're not good defensively like a Houston team, and that's why their games are going under. They're not any good. They're not scoring. So and Santa Clara is one of the better teams in the WCC. So it could be a blowout. You could get the 147, 146 just because it's 90-55. But that said, 8-1 under their last 9. Give me under 145.5 Seattle and Santa Clara.
So a little DJ West Coast action tonight. You know what game that I played tonight, Scott, was the over. And I wish – a lot of games are at 7 o'clock I like, but we're not on then, right? This Queens team, Queens, North Carolina, man. They're just an over machine, man. It was like 161.5 tonight. Look, it's 93.85 right now. Just ended. Austin P wins 93.85. Wow. Game sails over.
That's another team game. We got a guy on our podcast that went to Austin Peay, so he's always throwing Austin Peay stuff at me. So they're another one of those teams that's on the radar. I don't know if they would even win a game, but they're really good. They're the best team in the Atlantic Sun, and they were getting 2.5 points today, albeit on the road. But in Queens is a good team. They were 8-3 in conference play, but Austin Peay won again. How about that?
Yeah,
amazing,
convincing win too. 93-86 final score. And this, you can't bet every game, or you can if you're a real DJ.
Right.
But the Syracuse game today, Syracuse and Cal, or Syracuse and Stanford, excuse me, whatever. They just went to Cal. They just went to Stanford's playing Boston College. That's the one. I actually like Stanford in that game at BC. Tell you, they can play on the road, these teams. And I tell you, I thought the total was a little light in the Cal-Syracuse game, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. Obviously, it hits. They're going to overtime, 81-81.
Not bad.
Oh, my God. Look at this, Scott. Look at this. Oh, boy.
What's that?
Northwestern leading 31-19.
Ooh. Is that the biggest deficit? That's got to be the biggest deficit Michigan's had this year, right? Close to it, right? I would think.
Besides the Wisconsin game.
Were they down big in that game?
What they lost. Yeah, they were down by like 8 and 9. Yeah, I don't know if they ever got down double digits, actually. I think they might have been down 11 or 12 at one point. For the record, so it's 33-22. Michigan just scored. Michigan are down to 225 on the money line now. Minus 3.5 on the point spread. They're coming back. They're not losing this game.
Coming back. Yeah.
They're not losing this
They're not losing. This is not like a good Northwestern
it's in Chicago, too. It's not like they're on the road far. Like, it's like, whatever. All right, you've had a bad first half here. Fine. I say let's lay the 3.5, Scott. I'm going to jump in.
Yeah. You're never going to get a better line than that, right? That's a real good line. They're not losing to Northwestern.
They're good enough to flip the switch and go on a 22-4 run. Like, you know what I mean? They can flip this on like one run. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot, actually. All right, more coming up. In-game live game day here on the grid.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much, as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Hour number 2. Checking out a little college basketball before we get back to the NBA. Good start for Texas Tech. I must say that was in our opening pickoff, laying, what was it, like 14.5. They're up big. They're up 27 against Colorado. Just had a sense that Texas Tech was going to put a nice little number on the board today. So laying 30.5. Wouldn't touch that if you didn't jump in earlier. That's for sure. Good start for, yeah. I was going to go there. Yeah,
By
UConn.
4.
They were down. They were down, but yeah, they're not, I figured they wouldn't lose. They're on like an 0-6 against the spread run. They're one of those teams, Gabe, where you're kind of like Michigan now. They're good. We all know they're good. Who's betting against UConn or Michigan, right? Nobody. But they're winning the games outside of the St. John's loss. But they're not covering the spread. And even after the St. John's loss, I still didn't think they would be able to cover 11.5 on the road against, not really a good Butler team, but still that's a fat number. So winning by 4 with 7 minutes left.
I want to get to this too. The Miami, Ohio. So they're not playing again until Friday. They haven't played in a while, huh?
Right.
I keep wondering, man, I got this. It's plus 375 right now. Will they finish the regular season with an undefeated record? So not their conference tournament, not the NCAA tournament. Will they finish the MAC regular season undefeated? I say they do.
Well, they got 4 more games left? 4 or 5 more?
I want to get their schedule up here right now. They've already played the toughest opponents in the conference. So what do they have coming up here? Now, it's hard to believe, you're right, that we're already at the end of the year almost here. But no, they got more than that. They got about 7. So Ohio, 7. Miami, Ohio. So you got a rivalry game. Miami, Ohio at UMass. It's kind of tricky. Bowling Green at Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio, Eastern Michigan. Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan. Toledo at Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio, and Ohio. Question is, if we roll over to money line, you got to get more than plus 375.
You would think because, why? Because 4 of those games are on the road. Yeah, 4 of those games are on the road. So they're not going to be monster favorites. Now, they don't play, you said it, you don't play Akron, which is in 2nd place, or Kent State, which is in 3rd place. You do play Ohio, which is in 4th place, but they're only 13 and 12 overall. So these games are, all against the middle or lower. And the rivalry. That's the thing.
But you're
right.
You
put $100 to win $350.
The worst team. Eastern Michigan is terrible. They do play Bowling Green. UMass is 10, 15, and 10. So it's just it's a lot of games, 7 games for plus 375. That's my point here, right? Like it was 4 games or 5 games, but it is 7 games.
Yeah. I'm thinking UMass, they might be, like a 3 or 4 point favorite. Like I think some of this stuff they'll be minus 250.
I think you're better off just sort of, in a shorter point spread, just hammer them if you want on the money line then and flip it over the last few games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think the math adds up. I think we missed the best number with plus, when it was like, I got a guy on, there was a Chicago State guy, shout out to our boy Julio, who was the Chicago State play-by-play. He got it at 10-1. He's got it at plus 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, so he pulled the trigger when they were like 14-0, 15-0 type thing, and it was 10-1. I was going to, Scott, like when Zeno was talking about it, it was still like plus 675 range, 750. Missed the boat. It's been stuck at like plus 375 for about a week now. I think it's not enough. I want to do it though. Part of me thinks they're going to pull it off, but I don't know if it's like the odds aren't great,
Right. They finished up too. They were front loaded with all the home games. They finished up their last 9 games. 6 are on the road. Now they played 2 already.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of road games.
And it's the MAC. These teams don't like each other, man. The Ohio Bobcats like nothing better to knock these guys off.
Right. And that's the last game too. You can see like Miami of Ohio versus Ohio. I'm sure that's a big time, right? Yeah.
Look how happy TCU was beating Iowa State. Like imagine like the storm the court thing. You knock off these guys at home.
Yeah.
I got no beef if you're one of these bad MAC teams and you storm the court. Okay, if you party all week, you deserve it.
I must say, I don't believe in the thinking a loss is good, Gabe. I not at this point. I just don't. I don't see how. Like, I've heard people say that
their bubble will burst. Yeah, I think if you're a big time team, the loss doesn't matter. Like Arizona, it doesn't matter. Arizona's NCAA tournament future, Scott, was not affected by the fact they lost to Kansas. Right? You get the coach can basically practice harder, and you guys aren't as good as you think you are, and look what we got exposed, and we're not good at this. Like, coaches can work with stuff, but you're right. If you got this fabulous season going in Miami, Ohio, once you lose, no one will talk about you. You're actually on ESPN now. You're actually being talked to. We're talking about you. Like every station, you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about you. So you're the only undefeated team in the country. Once you're undefeated, it's like Nebraska, Scott. No one talks about them anymore, right? The the TV lights are off. The carnival left town. Seriously.
It's like, see you later.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, on to the next.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, we got some print. You carry this for a month of content, but we're moving on now. And now the story. Oh, yeah, Eastern Michigan beat them. Huh? Like, so it will be a letdown for them, and not to mention, they got to worry about making a damn tournament if they lose a game.
They do.
Like, let's be real. You and I might put them in. You and I aren't on the committee, and I want to bring this up, Scott. Like, we can talk about the MAC not like completely sucking, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? You got Miami is 24-0, Akron are 19-5, Kent State are 18-7, but then it dips to 13-12, 13-12, 15-10, 14-10.
Yeah.
But look at the win streaks here, guys. Nobody does anything in this conference. You got 24 in a row, lost 1-1-1, 1-1-1, 1-1-1, 1-2. 7. The only streak besides in the MAC, it goes to show what a helter-skelter conference it is, huh? Look, there's only 2 teams in the entire, 3 teams. You got 4 teams. So you got a 2-game losing streak, a 4-game losing streak, a 7-game losing streak. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that are like back and forth with one. It is a bad conference. Let's call it out for what it is.
Think about this. These are the conferences that are ranked ahead of the MAC RPI-wise. WCC, Missouri Valley, the WAC. The WAC is ahead. American.
The WAC is, The
Colonial.
WAC is, The American.
Ivy League. They're 14.
The American, huh?
The American.
Yeah, they're not going to
Ivy
make it.
League. Ivy League is ranked ahead of the MAC.
They're not going to be.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and Japan, and everybody. There's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers, they control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much, as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Got a couple of games here to keep an eye on. College basketball, final seconds. I'm a little bit behind, so this one actually might be over. 9 seconds left. Syracuse up 90-89 against Cal. And Syracuse got to inbound the basketball. UConn's up 12, so they're starting to pull away. They may actually get the cover. Who knows when everything's said and done. And I'm curious to know, Gabe, how many people are going to Sacramento versus Utah in the NBA tonight? I mean, I know nothing's going on in Utah, but still, does somebody have to win? That's going to end up like 55-50 with both teams using players 15 through 10 or 10 through 15, on the court at the end of the game.
Well,
both teams want to lose.
Shouldn't it be like 150 to 150 since neither team really seems to care?
That's true. The players want to score. That's true.
DeMar DeRozan lost it on the bench the other night. He just flipped out. So they broke the record. For the record, this is the worst. That's saying something too. It's the worst Sacramento Kings team in the history of the Sacramento Kings. And I'm looking right now at StubHub for Sacramento and Utah tickets. And this is the lowest I've ever seen any sporting event on StubHub in my life.
$2. $2. And this is a team, mind you, Sacramento. We brought this up before, but this is
like
Zach
if Adam Silver
LaVine
doesn't think he has a problem. Like I'd sit him down, I'd go, bro, you can't sit in a McDonald's for $2, but you can go to an NBA. Like put it this way. Is this so cheap if you're homeless? $2 and you sit in an NBA arena for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like homeless people ride the bus back and forth all day because they just want to stay warm. Like, you know what I mean? Or you go to the cheap movie theater. Oh, yeah, it's $2 for the movie, and like $5, whatever, and you stay fall asleep in the movie theater all day, Dude, for $2, I'm not even kidding. It's cold in Utah. If you're homeless, go to a Utah Jazz game. It's like a homeless shelter. You'll get in for $2.
Think about who's playing for the Kings, right? I mean, they have Zach LaVine, good play. DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Russell Westbrook,
People
Schroeder.
don't hear this, but Westbrook has such crazy high stats. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He does.
Right.
He's
he will.
He's broken records.
DeAndre Hunter.
This and that.
What's amazing to me, Gabe, is that nobody, and if I were one of these players, if I'm DeAndre Hunter or Schroeder or Westbrook, or whoever, nobody wanted me. Really? I'm that bad at this point in my career? Nobody, if you're Sacramento, you give these guys away, go get some draft choices,
you make
right?
too much money.
No reason to hold on to them. Nobody wanted Sabonis.
They have a bunch of, they wanted too much for Sabonis, which they're stupid because now you got nothing. And they got a bunch of slugs, bro, that all make big money. Right? And
wow.
It's just one of the worst constructed teams. It's already 24-13 right now. So yeah, $2 to get in. Total's 226 and a half right now. I was going to say maybe there's some player prop opportunities here. Like who's even playing?
Right.
Let's see who's on the court. All right, here we go.
That team's the worst team in the NBA, 12-43 record-wise. The worst.
$2. Like if you're the Utah Jazz owner, aren't you embarrassed at some point?
Right.
I know, you want a good draft pick, but still, really, your tickets are going for $2. If you're Adam Silver too, if you don't think you have a problem, man, you can't get into you can't get anywhere. You can't take a bus.
You can't get into a high school game. Yeah, a high school game charges more than $2 to get in. Right? Not even a city team. I'm talking local Topeka High charges more
than $2 to get into Coca-Cola for $2. Take a can of Coke.
I mean, you can't cross bridges in New York for $2. That costs you $6, $7.
That's another story, right? Yeah. So look in here, DeMar DeRozan.
Wow.
This is weird. DeMar DeRozan's prop is 15 and a half. We've only played 6 minutes in this game. He's got 5 points already. You tell me he's not going to score 11 more points? What do they know that I don't? What, is he going to throw a water bottle again and walk off the court?
Right.
They don't have anybody. He has to score.
I mean,
look, this is their lineup tonight. DeMar DeRozan, Maxon Reynaud, Nick Clifford, who's actually not bad, this kid. Precious Achua, who's terrible, Devin Carter, and Dylan Cardwell. Come on. I'm taking DeRozan over 15 and a half.
Yeah. He's got to have some personal pride.
Some. You would think.
Well,
Cavs
you're gonna
win
be
by
so worried.
25.
He's another one too, Scott. He got in the face of his teammates last night. They played last night, right? It was last night.
Right.
Well, we're talking about their streak or 2 nights. I think it was last night, whatever. But yeah, DeRozan wanted to fight people last night. So you better show up tonight.
Yeah. Hard with 13 in this Cavs debut at home. How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott Gabe, hour number 2. Let's talk a little golf, little Winter Olympic hockey. As also, it looks like Charlotte's going to win, but not cover. They were winning by freaking 20 points, laying 4.5, 5.5, and they ended up winning by 1 or 2 or 3. So, what's their Cam Stewart? What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight?
Hey, good, Scott. Good, Gabe. Yeah, I was just watching also the Detroit Pistons are laying a thumping down to the Raptors tonight on the road. They look real, real good. They're up 20 right now, and I got to give these guys a lot of credit. That's why they're the top seed. Like, they came in there, punched them early, and the Raptors got it a little bit close, but they just keep on pulling away and pulling away. But, yeah, Charlotte, that looked like an absolute lock. I've been riding the Hornets. They've been one of the best bets in sports, but I can't believe that Atlanta came back. What's going on here? Like, you can't even cover like a few points, and now you almost lose the game. Like, come on, guys, finish the job.
Milwaukee just beat Orlando 116-108. That just went final. For the record, too, it's this Clipper game. They're right on the number. They're down 9. They've been lingering right around the number like all night. 71, what is it now? 70-61 for the Houston Rockets.
What do you got NBA tonight? Anything, Cam? Before we get to the
I
golf
I had Charlotte, but they're not gonna cover. I have them in a money line parlay too, but that's still alive. But I thought I've just been riding them. Like, you know, guys, Gabe, you know how good the Charlotte Hornets are. ATS, like, they're just a team that you just consistently bet, but eventually things come to an end. I'm just hoping. I haven't checked the account yet, but Scott, sometimes if they go up 20, you get the automatic money line payback, but you don't get the other ones. So I'm just hoping that you get an early payback and it's in the account because there's things to bet on tomorrow. Probably add a few more first-round leaders to my golf.
Quick alert here. We're at the half here at Northwestern. Northwestern 44 to Wolverines 35. So Michigan are losing by 9 at the half as 16-point favorites. They're now laying 2.5, and the money line. This is bait car 101. They're leaving the door open. Michigan minus 165 on the money line now.
Wow.
Michigan 165 Northwestern. Man, it's only a 9-point game. Michigan's coming back. I'm going all in.
Like the finish bait card today, Gabe. Minus 140 for Finland. Ooh, they're like minus 500 before the game. Yeah, finish bait car. They get clipped too. The cops were there. I'm going to tell you,
better off with me as their goalie besides this Saros, besides UC Saros. The guy,
problem Saros is like he's good for a while, but Gabe, we talked about it. He's too small. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guy's like very tiny.
In the Italy game, Gustafsson, it was wild, man. Sweden were out shooting.
They had 30 shots in the first period. They had 30 shots, right?
Them, though, Scott. At one point, the shots, it was 38-6 shots on goal, and the score was 2-2.
Yeah.
Gustafsson gave up 2 goals on 4 shots. The first goal was like terrible. It was like, what the hell? Like, are you doing it? They haven't
second goal wasn't much better. I saw the second goal. That wasn't much better.
Yeah, so it was like, bro, and Gustafsson got better as the game went on, but it was like, bro, it's like, dude, we're out shooting them 54-9 right now, and it's 2-2 because you let 2 goals in. Like, it should be 2-0. Right? Like, it was one of those. Yeah, in hockey, man, we'll see if the Latvian Merzlurkin's a good goalie too, Cam. It's the Columbus Blue Jacket goalie. That's the Latvian goalie tomorrow playing against the USA. He's good.
There's a lot of those guys. I've been watching it even on the women's side where Canada is just absolutely pummeling Switzerland, and then the game's like real tight. Like, that's the whole thing. Just because hockey's one of those sports, Gabe and I talk about it all the time. Like, you get a hot tender, it doesn't matter. You can dominate, and this guy, that's how Latvia beats Canada in the past. You would shoot him by 1,000,000, and this guy's just standing on his head. That's what happens. It's like you get a hot tender, you're done. But tomorrow, I know it was all dogs today. I got a feeling like the cream of the crop step up, but Gabe and I talked about it, Scott, like laying 2.5 with Canada, there's no lock here. Like, this is the one thing. This international tournament, these other guys have played together. They look very, very strong, and we saw it with the Slovaks. A lot of these guys, Finland has more guys in the NHL. These guys play in group teams, club teams. They know each other really well, and it takes a couple games sometimes for the pros to get acclimated. And we know how talented they are, but they don't play with each other. They play on different teams in different leagues, right?
Yeah,
and a lot of these other
Czechs, remember?
Yes.
Neither do the Czechs. That was the thing with the Italian team, that they all do play together. And, I just want to throw it out there quickly, too, with the Italian team. Props to them. They could have taken NHL and Canadian, American, Italian descent type things, and the rules are pretty loose for it. And they actually said, no, we don't want to do that. And we're going to go with all dudes that are in the Italian league or on our Italian national team already. And you figure, wow, you guys are going to get killed if you do this. They didn't get killed. And if you bring in like Adam Fantilli or whatever, you bring in a bunch of dudes that are just average NHL, Fantilli's not average, but let's just say you bring in dudes that played in the NHL or they're in the NHL because they have an Italian grandmother or something. It's not, and they don't even speak Italian. It's not going to inspire kids in Italy to play hockey, right? The fact that like the goalie today is actually from Milan. This kid's standing on, making saves against Sweden. Like the story, there's other kids in Milan. I mean, they play soccer there. That's their religion, right? So it's hard to get kids to play other sports. The kid that scored the goal today, Cam, is actually a real Italian dude, right? Like he's not, he plays in Italy, he plays in the Italian league. That'll inspire people. If you just had some like whatever NHL guy that's there as a token player, like I said, with the WBC guys, like it's so loose. If you vacationed in a country once, you can play for them. I think Araldus Chapman's on Israel in the WBC.
Sorry, that's the best. Are you Jewish? Yeah, sure. Yes, I am.
Like,
I'm Araldus Chapman.
I went there once. Like, you're eligible. Like, no, it's true. The WBC. I remember I fell off my chair when I saw the rosters. I was like, come on, bro. Like you're not. Yeah,
they had like Frank Catalanato playing for Italy just because of that. Yeah, you're right, Gabe. Like it's different in hockey. I'm cool. I'm proud that they did that too.
Like the Mike Piazzas and stuff. Like, it's not going to inspire. Like, you got real Italian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are we betting tomorrow then, Kev? What do you like tomorrow? We got 3 games.
Well, I know, Gabe, but we did the group winning, and it was good for Sweden. They did get by Italy and Finland losing. So that leg looks pretty good. In Canada and America, I got to believe they win their division. So we had a 3-team parlay to get out of the division at plus 140. But this is what I'm saying. And when we talk about shopping around, and Gabe and I in the podcast talked about it, a lot of people are getting plus 170. How do I not take a shot with top points for Canada, McDavid? I'm getting plus 325. Like, it's an absolute crazy number, almost double the number that a lot of the sports books are offering. So at plus 325, I'll bet it. Plus 170, it's not a great number, but plus 325, I'm in. Jack Eichel for the Americans, his number's inflated as well. It's a great price at plus 510. And I have a matchup, guys. Cale Makar, I found this one, minus 140. It's like a golf matchup. Cale Makar for Canada against Quinn Hughes of the United States, minus 140 for Makar. I could have played a couple more of these matchups, but I'm still going to go through them tonight. But that's what I got. McDavid plus 325, top points Canada. Jack Eichel plus 10 for the United States. And Makar over Quinn Hughes minus 140.
Mm-hmm. How about this parlay we talked about last night? And we'll do the golf on the other side. How's this one going to lose, Cam? USA women to win the gold medal in hockey, minus 380. UConn to win the championship, women in basketball, minus 3-1. It's still minus 147. But
that's all right.
You know, UConn's undefeated. USA's not, I don't think, losing. I mean, how is that one not going to cash?
Well, that's the whole thing, other than Canada, and they beat them down. So, yeah, no, the American women, in my opinion, like, that was the one, like, even prior to the tournament, we bet it. They're significantly better than everybody else. They're faster. So, yeah, no, I like it, Scott. I think that's good. Sometimes laying juice is all right. If it wins, just hope it doesn't lose. That's the bottom line, right? So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It was a huge, huge day for the underdogs on the ice. We'll see what Canada and America do. I do like Germany, though. That's the one team I'm going to take a shot with, Germany. They're in parlays, and I will lay 1.5 with the Germans in their game. I think they're actually kind of an underrated hockey team. That's one favorite I think can get it done on the puck line.
They're minus 275 against Denmark, and then minus 1.5 even money. One thing on FanDuel, at least here in New York, they're not offering me, like, if I hit the USA Latvia, you're only getting the minus 1.5. You can't lay 2.5, 3.5, or 4.5.
That's crazy.
Take a break. Yeah, golf picks with Cam coming up.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on an ice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, you know, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Game Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much, as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe chat with our good buddy Cam Stewart, Sports Grid host. You see it here all the time here on the Grid. So we got the hockey and the Olympic hockey. How about a little Pebble Beach Pro-Am, one of the favorite tournaments on the tour once again this season. Cam, who we got the Scotty Scheffler, the favorite at plus 300. Not bad. You're actually getting 3-1 with Scotty Scheffler. But where we go with the golf this weekend?
It's hilarious. Scott, I had a buddy who I gave remember the Scheffler top 5, 10, 20, all those parlays with the Seahawks. I get a call after day one. He goes, "Are you an idiot?" I go, "What? Like, what are you yelling at me for?" He goes, "Scotty Scheffler's in 127th." I go, "Yeah, it's Thursday. Like, and your point?" And you guys saw what happened, Gabe. It was like crazy. So he goes 127 and then to 67, whatever. And then he makes the cut. Then he goes to 27 and he finishes third. Like, that's the thing. He didn't even bring his A game, for God's sakes. I'm feeling going, we got Goddard and Hideki Matsuyama in a playoff. Scotty Scheffler's there, and he finishes third. Scott, so those parlays with the Seahawks actually came in after this guy called me an idiot. Then he apologized to me after. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I go, "Yeah, like, 4-round tournament. Like, that's what we're trying to tell you." Scotty Scheffler's amazing. Mm-hmm.
How many tournaments has he played in now and not won?
What, this year?
What, 2?
Yeah.
2.
No, it's 2.
He's 1 and 2.
Yeah. The funny thing is, too, guys, this is the one tournament. Scotty Scheffler's never won at Pebble Beach. But remember when Brady broke it down with you, Scott, with the top 10s and the top 5s, like 17 out of 20? Like, that's the whole thing about this guy. That's why the books are laying like minus 220 for like a top 5 now. Like, you're not getting even minus 120 or whatever. Like, they've been burned so many times, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So you're going to take him at 3-1 maybe. I don't know if he's going to win this week, but I'll tell you one thing. Chris Goddard, great story. This guy was from New Jersey, right outside of the SportsGrid studios. He played at Rutgers. Then he went to Oklahoma. I was telling people he was 7 shots back on Sunday and he won. Some people just have it in their veins in golf. Like, this guy doesn't get scared and he's good. And I'll tell you what I saw with Justin Rose when he won a couple weeks ago. He looks leaner. He's hitting the ball as far as kids now. He says, "I got a new training regimen. I want to be one of the best players in the world." And I watched that interview and said, "You know what? I believe you. I'm going to take him again." He plays great at Pebble Beach at 28-1. Victor Hovland is a guy that's done equipment changes and, not playing as well. But last week he came out of nowhere on Sunday and he played well. I'm going to take him at 32-1. Matthew Fitzpatrick was right there. Had a couple double bogeys that really derailed him from winning last week. But at 40-1, I'm going to take a shot. 2 underdogs for you. Sam Stevens, 4 for 4 in cuts made. Really, really solid golfer. Hits it straight at 100. And dangerous Denny McCarthy. I usually take him in Florida. He's a good wind player. If the winds pick up, I'll feel good. So plus 140 for dangerous Denny McCarthy. But I'll tell you, I really like Justin Rose. And a lot of the golf guys are like, "Oh, I want more, 35 or 40-1. Well, Gabe, I'm kind of taking your approach now. I don't care. Like, if I want to bet this guy at 28, maybe he should be a little bit higher. I love the way he's been playing. He looks absolutely rejuvenated. And he's just, how do you go wire to wire in a tournament and win by multiple shots? Like, you're winning by 7 shots. So I think Justin Rose is really, really dialed in this year.
Tommy Fleetwood, 25-1. Rory McIlroy's in the 15-1 range. You're getting some pretty good prices with some pretty good golfers here.
Good point, Gabe. It's their first time, too. Tommy Fleetwood and Rory have been playing in Europe. This is Rory's first time. And I will say this to Morency's point. If Scotty Scheffler wasn't in this field, Rory McIlroy would be 5 or 6-1. So you're getting 14-1 on him. If you like him, I think it's a pretty good price. Tommy, I haven't seen. He hasn't played as well. But eventually he's going to figure out, and he's a great ball striker. And
but he was playing in Dubai too, so
yeah.
He's been playing. He's in form. And you talk about Siwoo Kim, guys, another player, very good odds for Siwoo Kim right now, 25-1.
Gabe, Siwoo Kim has been top 10, like, honestly, every week. He's just an automatic paycheck. If you've taken him at top 20, you've cashed every single tournament this year on the PGA Tour with a couple like top 5s. Like, this guy's on fire. My top 20s, though, we're going for a little bit of value. He threw this tournament away in Europe, but he was right there. Shane Lowry for a top 20 at plus 130 to me is really, really good, and he plays well here. Minwoo Lee, like Siwoo Kim, another hot golfer that's always on page 1 or 2 of the leaderboard, plus 150. And Jason Day, he's a little bit older, but sometimes, Pebble Beach, horses for courses, he plays well. In the top 30, Tom Hoagie's finished the last couple times here in the top 5. I get plus 120 for a top 30. He loves California golf. Then he kind of fades as the season goes on. And Andrew Novak is a guy that I think at that price, at plus 130 for a top 30, looks really good. They're playing on 2 courses. You got Spyglass and Pebble. I'm not going to give you like 20 first-round leader guys. I'm going to get 2 from each one. See, Sahith Theegala, who's playing a lot better this year at 30-1. Steven Yager, great Thursday starter at 35. And then on Spyglass, I'm going with Jake Knapp. He almost won last week. I'm telling you, Jake Knapp will win a tournament on the PGA Tour, I think, in the next 4 or 5 weeks. He looks really, really good. And Aaron Rye has a nice history. Good Thursday player. He likes to come out of the gate hot. He's 30-1 for first-round leader at Spyglass. They play 2 courses, Thursday and Friday. Then they go to Pebble for the weekend, fellas. So that's all I got, Gabe. I got Olympic bets, too. I'm not going to bet like 100. Yeah, I got actually about 50% less than everybody else in the golf world. I got 6 first-round leaders at Pebble and 6 at Spyglass. I'm like, hey, man.
How do they win?
What?
Do these guys ever? Well, they've got so many bets, Ken. Does anyone ever win betting golf? I know you hit every once in a while. And I don't mean you. I don't mean you specifically, but we had golf guys, and they give out 5,000 bets. It's like, how the heck do you win? Even if you actually pick the winner, you're losing money because you got so many plays in.
I'm picking 4 or 5 guys to start, like not like a million, like other guys, and then I'll take maybe if I work out the math live. But you know what it is, Scott? I don't win. Like, you're not going to win a lot when this field is limited. There's 80 guys, and I can't lie. It's hard to win a golf tournament. We had Goddard up in week 1, and that was nice. But you're right. Placements. Top 5s, 10s, 20. That's how you get it done. Try to find plus money. Like last week, Scott, Hideki, Fitz. All the guys we had were good in placements, Gabe, but one guy wins the golf tournament. It's tough.
It's like betting on NASCAR, where it's almost like buying lottery tickets. If somebody thinks, oh, if I only buy $10,000 worth of lottery tickets, I'll have a better chance of winning. And same thing, like in a NASCAR race, you're like, you know what? I'll take these 6 guys and whatever, dude. There's 42 dudes in the race. Always some jackass, Cam, you don't have on your ticket that, yeah, he's never won before, and he won this week. Golf is frustrating like that. Golf and NASCAR betting are very similar.
Good call. And that's why, Scott, I'm not taking like 8 to 10 guys at the start of the tournament anymore. I'm usually going to start at 4. Like for the Masters, probably like 6 because it's fun, but limiting the plays, it's not as much. Placements is where it's at. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, great job as always, man. Good luck with your plays.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
But curling, you don't need to be like, you know what I mean? You're not building a football team here or a baseball team from scratch. You're tossing some rocks on a nice surface. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you invest some money into it, you can get good at it. Like China's gotten good at it, and like, Japan, and like everybody, there's a lot of really good countries at curling right now.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They're just unblemished everywhere. They dominate you defensively, and they have offensive balance. They force turnovers and control the glass. Let's put it to you like this. UConn isn't just undefeated. They're a tyrant over the women's basketball landscape. March won't expose them much as they will confirm their invincibility.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
welcome back. In-game live, game day on the grid. Closing up shop. Thanks again, Cam Stewart, SportsGrid host, who we have on all the time with the hockey and the little golf there. I heard a ooh there. What happened, Cam or Gabe? Something good? Hopefully.
Well, right on cue. Right on cue. The LA Clippers have taken a 5-point lead. Like I said, linger, hang around, go on a run. Right? Last night it's just like last night where they were down by 6, down by 8, down by 10, but they never got over the hump and they covered because they hit a 3 late to lose by 7.
Right.
Same thing tonight. They finally went on that run where they've taken a lead. Dude, it was a low-scoring third quarter, 24-20.
Yeah.
The Rockets only scored 20 points in the third quarter. And to start the fourth, the Clippers have outscored them 15-4. So we'll see if the Clippers can hang on getting the 8.5 here tonight.
Yeah. They're now 1.5-point favorites. I hopped in at halftime when they were getting 12.5. We told you guys to hop in. So hopefully you guys did get yourself a fat little middle if you wanted to do that. But I'll just hold on to my ticket 12.5 and with a 5-point lead. My over-under 204.5. I need some work there. Sitting at 210.5. So we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on that one. Couple of other finals that have rolled in. Nothing really crazy. We get the Pacers winning by 5 over the Nets, so they get that New York sweep in the Knicks last night. Celtics by 19 over the Bulls. I told you, I know this Celtic team. It's an MO. They go up by 20, 30 points. We were getting 29.5. They outscored 35-26. They must have the absolute worst fourth quarter scoring in blowout games than any team I've ever seen. They never cover these monster spreads. So end up winning by 19. Hopefully you hopped in on the Bulls when we're getting 29.5. Bucks win. You mentioned it early. Bucks win by 8 over the Magic. Cadavers by 25 over the Wizards. James Harden only finished up with 11 points. He didn't have many. He went to the free throw. The dude lives on a free throw line. 13 points, but 11 assists, 6 turnovers, which isn't that good. But at least the Cleveland did win. Knicks by 50 or so, literally over the 76ers. No Embiid tonight. And the Pistons blowing out your Raptors. That's a wrap, basically. 113.95 closing seconds.
Yeah,
So,
Raptors beat the good Western Conference teams this year. They went to Oklahoma City. They go into this place. They go to that place. Excuse me. They get back home, and they lose to the Knicks. They lose to the Pistons. They lose to the Celtics. It's kind of a problem. Like, it really is. Like, if you're a Raptor fan, it's been a good year. But, listen, they're going into the All-Star break, so it was a nice, nice run to start the season, all this. But they're going to have to figure this out and just sort of man up and stop losing. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. That's why they have the record. But, they're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs at this rate if they don't start stepping it up against these Eastern Conference foes. We'll be talking Olympics at 10:30. And we'll get in.
Yep.
There's 4 hockey games. We got a game coming up at 3:10 Eastern time tonight, and then 6 in the morning, and then rinse and repeat 10 in the morning tomorrow, and then USA are the last game tomorrow afternoon. So hockey's off and running. But as far as some plays before that, as I talked about, I saw Loyola Marymount in person last week. Solid athletic team. They're on a 2-game win streak right now. Their games have been track meets too. They don't stop anybody, and they do run and gun. They don't shoot well, but they do take a lot of shots. So give me the 5.5 against a really good Pacific team this year. But Loyola Marymount are hot enough to give me the 5.5 here, and I do like the over 141 in this basketball game.
Don't want to bring it up, but let me throw out my picks out. I'm going to go over Loyola and Pacific, the 140.5. We had that. I'll take a little flyer on the under 143.5. St. Mary's and Pepperdine. St. Mary's a halfway decent under team. And I like the under in the Seattle-Santa Clara game at 147.5. So Michigan, though, Gabe, I tell you, I still think they're going to come back and win, but we're getting to the point where they down 13 now against Northwestern?
Yeah, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. They're up to plus 190 on the money. Like, you figure, all right, second half, they're going to come out strong here. They've been outscored 10-6. We just went to the 4-minute TV timeout. So you got 15.5 minutes left, 13-point game. We're getting to the point now, Scott, like all college basketball games are 4-minute periods. They're broken down into 4-minute chunks. So we're at the point now, if Michigan doesn't win this next 4 minutes and start going on a run, they're going to lose this game. Like this next little chunk until the next 12-minute timeout is the game right now.
They're getting, well, it's basically pick 'em. Down 13 is pick 'em. I still think they're going to come back and win.
No, they're plus
I
190
do.
right now. They're plus 190.
With you, plus 190? Yeah, FanDuel's got it at pick 'em. How about that? Gabe's going to come back in a half hour with all the Olympic stuff, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it right here on the grid. Have yourselves a great Wednesday night.